I lost track of time. I was reading the news article on the Nashville aardvark. And then I looked up and went, holy shit, it's 6:59. Get your ass moving. What an adorable little aardvark. They have a picture of him crawling up on mommy. Oh, so adorable. They look like big dogs with a long nose. Matter of fact, when they had the, it was a series. It went 2 years on the New York Zoo. And the girl that took care of the aardvark says, oh, they're like big dogs. Of course, with a mouth about that big, they're not going to bite. What a cute little pinky. They had that picture of him. He's crawling up on mommy, looking at the camera. Absolutely adorable. They said they haven't named it yet. A lot of time when zoos have little babies born like that, they have a contest. And they'll give a person like a free year membership to the zoo, T-shirts. I know they do this. They used to do it in Cleveland. They would have a naming contest, and the person would get like a year's free admission to the zoo and a T-shirt and behind-the-scenes tour. I don't know if all zoos do that or even if they do it anymore. But what an adorable little aardvark. And the neat thing is, well, I won't say neat. One Christmas, Kathy, you'll love this. My father goes Christmas shopping on the evening of the 24th. And he's drunk on his ass. So he finally gets home like 7:30, by the time we eat dinner and everything, it's like 9 o'clock. And we used to open our gifts on Christmas Eve. Well, my father wrapped all my presents for me and my two sisters, like, by the time he got done wrapping them, they looked like they'd been in a dumpster for a week. He gets my baby sister adult roller skates. Now, she was just like walking. He gets my middle sister a sweater that basically could have fit my baby sister, and me a ceramic aardvark. At the time, I had no idea what an aardvark was. I get this big ceramic aardvark. I had it for years. I don't know. I think it got broken in one of my moves. But yeah. That's the way things went in our house. It didn't make any difference if you made a Christmas list. Let's first of all, let's get certain things out of the way here. Broadcasting live. Come on. Broadcasting live from beautiful downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV, home of not one but two stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I am your host, the grumpy old man, and... well, fuck. Our show is brought to you by Grumpy Vulture Productions. That's it, no bow. See you, bye. Yes, as a matter of fact, when I unwrapped this disaster, my mother and my middle sister went, "What the hell is that?" And my father went, "I don't know. It looked neat." And it was it was like 18 inches long, a ceramic aardvark. We would make a Christmas list every year, especially like when we still believed in the big fat red guy. And it didn't make any difference what you put on your Christmas list because my father knew a guy that bought distressed merchandise. And every Christmas, him and all of his cronies would go to this warehouse and buy a bunch of shit. It got to be the point my Christmas list consisted of no need to ask. You're not going to get it anyway. But the ceramic aardvark, that was that. I wish I still had it, but it got broken, and I glued it back together, but it looked broken, glued back together, and I threw it out. I would name the aardvark Arnie. Arnie the aardvark. Or Ernie the aardvark. No, Arnie. Arnie sounds better. Arnie the aardvark. I know everybody comes up with rhyming, Aaron, Aaron the aardvark, Artemis the aardvark. They have to name it, some jungle name. But I know a lot of time the zoos will have a contest, especially with Nashville Zoo being a member of this nonprofit breeding organization, Save the Animals. I know Cleveland, I think the last time that I know was when we had the baby elephant born here. And the person that won, get this, it was a female elephant. The person that won the year's free admission to the zoo named it Ellie. Ellie the elephant. Ellie. And I'm thinking, the zoo staff picked this out of all the thousands of names submitted. The zoo staff picked Ellie. Yeah, she was Ellie the elephant. I guess if we'd have had a baboon born, he'd have been Bobby. Bobby the baboon. Oh, yeah, Ellie. They must have been... oh, hey, that's a great name. Ellie the elephant. Let me hear. You want, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ellie the elephant, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I could see him going to the zoo curator going, "We have a winner for the contest. Oh, really? What are we naming the elephant? Pachanga? Ellie? That don't sound African. Ellie? Could you look through the suggestion? You've already called the woman? Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess we'll have a press conference this afternoon. Although they said in the article that I read they haven't named it yet. Maybe they're considering a contest. Although Karanga for mommy's name, and what was dad's name? Misery or Missoula or Missoula or something. I'm like, who the hell come up with those names? Karanga. That don't sound aardvarkish to me. Karanga. It will be. Hey, Kathy, you got to keep us posted when they name the aardvark. Let us know what name they picked out of a hat. Yeah, Karanga. Mommy's name is Karanga. But according to when I watched, I think the name of the series was just called The Zoo, and it was one of the three biggest. New York has three zoos. Whatever the largest zoo is in New York, and the girl that was the keeper of the aardvarks said they were like big dogs, very docile. She used to go in and pet it and scratch it, It'd greet her at the door every morning. The only thing she said you had to watch out for was the nails, because they're diggers. They dig tunnels under the ground. But she said was like taking care of a big dog with a long nose. Well, Ron, it'd be real easy. Asshole 1, asshole 2, and little asshole. Although, it's a little late to name them now. You're going to be leaving soon. And somebody else will have to put up with the elephants. I guarantee whoever moves in, they're not going to be like you. They're probably going to be like me. You're liable to read about a homicide at the apartment complex. I went to 2 stores today and I forgot Ronson or Zippo lighter fluid. I'm still using my electronic zapper. That's part of the problem when filling both lighters at the same time. If I top off one, I top off the second one. Well, then it ends up when you run out of fluid, both run out at the same time. So I have one electronic cigarette zapper in the bedroom, and I have the other one here. Because, yeah, I'm an asshole that smokes in bed. I kind of straightened up my beard today. Straightened out, straightened out, straightened out. And I put some beard cream on it. Oh, it smells so nice. Feels soft and silky. The only problem is it always looks dirty right here. Next week's forecast. It is not going to get above 18. As a matter of fact, Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to be down to like 12. The gas company is going, oh boy. The furnace companies are going, oh boy. Thank God I had mine serviced in September, but yeah, the high is going to be 18 and the low is going to be 10 or 12. It's going to be like Antarctica around here next week. Take a drive up and join us, Kathy. You'll get up here and go, holy shit, now I know why I moved to Tennessee. AutoZone and O'Reilly's and Advance Auto Parts are going to make a lot of money on batteries next week. Although I don't have to worry, I have a brand new one in the Passat. Let me get this microphone adjusted right. Come on. Whoop. Oh, that didn't sound good. Come on. Over here. A little bit down. Thank you. I put an adjuster right here. The other one wouldn't tighten. And now I got the mic all out of whack again. I guess this will work. We can't see the damn color change anyway unless I cup my hands around it and go, oh, look, blue, purple, green. I am going to have to research, as much as I love this camera, there is going to be a camera out there that gives you true color. Not this washed out, where like this. You should be able to see every color. I mean, you can on live TV. Well, yeah, they're using $50,000 cameras. But there is going to be a camera out there that I can set up that would give true actual color. It's probably a couple $100, and I ain't gonna spend that kind of money because I'm what the hell, cheap. I have to get the weed whacker out tomorrow and buzz my head again. It's feeling like a scrub brush. Although it's also cold. Everybody says, why the hell don't you grow hair? Whether you got hair or not, your head is going to be cold. But yeah, that's a more high class term. I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. Frugal is cheap, spelled backwards. Not really. I forgot to text message Marianne. I don't know why I keep forgetting. I keep thinking about that little kitty. I hope it's next door. I really do. I keep trying to figure ways of bringing it home, and I'm like, I would have to lock it in a room by itself, and that would be cruel. Not to mention Boots would be all pissed off. But last night, I didn't move my arm quick enough for him. He comes in bed, nose in my arm. Next thing you know, I got 22 pounds of cat on my chest, the nose in my face going, Rah! All right, I'll be here. Crawl in. Yeah, he gets up on my face and yelled at me. Rah! Easy, big boy. I think he's more than 22 pounds. I'm going to have to put him on the scale. Although sitting on my chest, 22 pounds was pretty heavy. Then I go up to my Indian store because they carry this cane sugar. And it's like, it almost looks like kosher salt. And it dissolves very quickly, and you only have to use about half as much. So I go in today and I'm looking. I'm like, hey, where's the sugar? Oh, we no get. I said, what do you mean you no get? We order, we no get. I says, well, tell your supply warehouse that you got customers that want this stuff. And you would think they would be able to get it because it's a product of India. We no get. I had to settle for regular sugar. Ugh. Yeah, this stuff is, it looks, like I say, it looks like kosher salt. And you only have to use half as much. I mean, it goes a long way. And I'm almost out. Well, I don't have to worry about that, Lynx fur. I have a cup that stirs itself. I put the sugar in the bottom, put the coffee in, put the half and half in, push a button. It's got an automatic stirrer in the bottom. Matter of fact, I don't know why I took it apart to wash it and clean it. Forgot to put it back together. Yeah, it's got a motor in it and an impeller in the bottom of the cup. It's neat as can be. Because usually right before I take a drink, I push the button. Another gimmick, another toy. Oh, Kathy, did you look through the model kits? They do have airplanes. I went through the cars today. Oh my God. I would say 80% of those model kits I built when I was a kid. God, it brought back memories. I almost ordered that dump truck, but I have some bills coming up the end of the month, so we'll see how much money I have left over. I will be ordering that dump truck. And then after that, it's a toss-up between the bulldozer, the tow truck, or the city snowplow. I like all three. And I've built all three. And, over the years, you're like, I'll give this away. I'll give this away. Then going through that website this morning, I'm like, oh, why did I give all that shit away? Now I have to spend more money and rebuild. Although their prices are very reasonable compared to eBay. Matter of fact, I'm on the list because 3 of the kits that I'm interested in are sold out. So they have this thing, when they're back in stock, leave your email and we'll notify you. So that Dodge single axle with the trailer, I don't remember that one, but it looks so neat that I think I'm going to order that one too. Although I'm going to build them complete before I order another one. Otherwise, I'll be like what I have in the living room. This one's half built. This is 3/4 built. This one's 80% built. Well, no jigsaw puzzles for me. My model kits will be enough jigsaw-y enough. Because I have to get into that mode of building them again. And then I found, which I think is cool, for the semis, the big trucks, they have a turbine engine kit. I'm thinking of ordering one of the big semi tractors and putting the turbine engine in it, and then getting model kit lettering that says experimental prototype. Because there are several outlets on eBay that sell different decal kits for model vehicles. The only problem is, them little tiny letters, you got to use tweezers and line them up on. The stuff that they have is amazing. I just did kind of a quick glance over the airplanes and the ships. They don't have too much in die cast yet, but they're working on it. Like I say yesterday, they had to do, I would say, at least 2 years of research. Because you just, in this day of age, don't jump in to buying all the rights from 2 different companies and then start to manufacture these kits not knowing that you're going to have a public to buy them. So evidently, the tides have turned and kids are kind of getting away from video games, going back to actually building model kits. I think they're just getting into it to sniff the glue myself. You look high, son. I was building a model kit, Dad. You sure you weren't sniffing the glue and the paint? Well, I am in a closed room. What day is it? You know, at the time we didn't know it. And we couldn't understand the buzz. You know, you'd be building a kit for an hour, hour and a half. You'd come out all lightheaded. Be like, I don't know, what's going on? I feel funny. And you get in the fresh air and go, oh, I feel better. The next night you go down, yeah, here we were getting high and we didn't even know it. And then somewhere along the line, tides changed and kids realized they were getting a buzz off the paint and the glue. And the hell with a model kit. Give me 5-6 tubes of glue, please. Yeah, what do they call that? Where they spray the spray paint in a paper bag and then huffing. Yeah, they spray the paint in a paper bag and then right away. Yeah, something like that. Toluene or toluene or some. Yeah, there's something like that. Toluene. Yeah, here all the kids were getting a buzz and they didn't even realize it. And then when they did realize it, then they changed the glue formula. And I discovered, and you can buy it on eBay. You buy the orange and white tube. That is the old formula. Because believe it or not, they still make the old formula. The blue and white tube of Tester's model cement is the new formula. The only problem with the new formula is it doesn't really bond the parts well. I discovered that. I had built a model kit with the blue and white tube, and it after a while, if you touch it, it would start to come apart. And then I discovered, well, actually, my ENT doctor was the one that told me, no, you don't want the blue and white tube, you want the orange and white tube. He says, wait a minute, I'll be right back. He goes over in his office, looks it up on eBay or Amazon, prints it out, and goes, here, this is what you want. I'm like, God damn, I got a doctor that telling me how to get a legal high. Use this and you'll get a buzz. Well, thanks, Doc. You're cool. Yeah, I had built 3 or 4 pretty detailed model kits with the blue and white new formula. And if you even looked like you were going to touch them, the mirror fell off or a door would come off and it was something in that formula change that wouldn't bond the plastic. So in order to build a kit that's going to stay together, you have to use the orange and white Testors model cement. Well, it was kind of a orangey red, but you had to use that one because the blue and white, like I say, oh, look, that goddamn mirror fell off the side of the truck. I didn't even touch it. So I'm gonna make sure I order 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 tubes of the orange and white. Boy, yeah, Kathy, you should have heard some of the cuss words out of me. You know, you spend 3 weeks building a kit, you put it on display, and a little bit of breeze blows through the house, and 5 or 6 parts fall off of it. If I'm building something as big and huge as that mining dump truck, believe me, I'm using the orange and red, or the white and orange, or whatever color, the real cement. As a matter of fact, I had a tube of, well, it probably dried out. But you definitely don't want to use the blue and white. Matter of fact, I think it was that tow truck. No, I built the auto car dump truck. And you could raise and lower the dump bed. And I remember one day I went to show a friend of mine, I went to raise the dump bed, and it broke off the mounts on the back. And then the hoist tube came apart. I was like, God damn it. Nothing like building a kit. You finish it, and then you have to rebuild it. And I don't know how that subject came up when I was at my ENT doctor. I don't remember what we were talking about. And we ended up talking about model cement. And he went, oh, you don't want the new formula. No, wait, I'll go in my office and I'll look it up for you. He comes back here. This is a site on Amazon you can buy it from. And then I said to him, I said, oh, yeah, thanks for telling me how I can get a legal high and not get in trouble. He looked at me like, what? Well, you're the one that told me the difference. You even brought me out a website I could buy it from. So I'm going to make sure I can get the old formula glue. Because there's about 5,000 parts to that mining dump truck. And I only want to build it once. God, I remember the engine alone was like 100 pieces. Somebody had to steal it. I know I didn't get rid of it. First of all, it was like one of the largest model kits I ever built. And the dump bed would raise and lower. The doors opened on the cab. That's a neat kit. Was it like $75? Something like that. I'm not going to pay $75 for something that's going to fall apart after I build it. Which I don't mind paying, because I had found that kit on eBay and the guy wanted like $250, $275. I was like, as much as I want that kit again, I ain't paying that kind of money. Their prices are very reasonable. That's one thing I'll say. I mean, you look at a kit, $50. People are like, holy shit. But you got to remember, it's kind of commensurate with inflation. Because I think when I bought that dump truck originally, it was like $18 or $22, which, back in 1970 was a lot of money. The one thing, well, it irritates me for one, but it also made me feel good for two, seeing how many of the kits were already sold out. That goes to show you that there's a lot of interest in that hobby again. Because I'm sure wherever they're manufacturing them, there's a limit. I would say like a limit of, we have to run 100. So if they ordered 100 and they sold 100 and they got people that still want them, as a matter of fact, Kathy, I think, if I remember right, I put that kit like in layaway. I think I gave the guy $5, and then every week you had to come in with at least $5, because that was a pretty good chunk of change when, $25 would buy a week's worth of groceries. I'm pretty sure I put that on a layaway plan at Hobbyville on Rocky River Drive, because the hobby shop at 110th and Lorraine wouldn't do that. But Hobbyville was also a larger hobby shop. They, as a matter of fact, he rented out 2 storefronts. That's how big because there was one big, huge section just for planes. And he also sold the plane kits where you could put the gas engines in them. And At that time, they weren't remote control. You flew them on a cable. But they had real motors in them. And then the other side was, well, he had it divided up because he sold trains, he sold model kits, slot cars. I'll tell you what, he had a booming business on Rocky River, Hobbyville. That was the name of the place. If you look through the cars, Kathy, they actually have a '59 Cadillac ambulance, and you have to build the stretcher and everything. That caught my eye. I was like, oh man. Oh, Ron, my cousin had that. That was cool because it had a motor, and as the engine spun, the spark plugs would fire in the order that the timing order. It actually had spark plugs that had little tiny bulbs on the end. And when the piston had come up, there'd be a flash. Yeah, my cousin built that. That was cool. Because basically, the starter was the motor that drove the V8. And you had to run the wires to the distributor cap. Yeah, my cousin spent, oh God, I think it took him 3 months to build that thing. And a buddy of mine, his son, you can buy miniature engine kits that actually have cooling systems and they run on gasoline. You can he built a miniaturized V12 Ferrari engine and started it up, and you had to put oil in it and coolant because it was a real engine, but it was, about that big. Although that kit was like $300 or $400. He built a Ferrari engine, and he built a race engine with a big blower on top of it. And he would take them out on the picnic table and hook them up to a gas tank. And they had cooling systems with radiators. I mean, it was like a real... Somebody took an engine out of a car and went, poof, you are now miniature. I would like to have one. I really would. I would like to build one. Mainly like that Ferrari V12. Because it comes in 9,000. You have to build the pistons. You have to put the piston rings on. You have to put the bearings in. Attach them to the crankshaft. Oh, those kits are neat. And then you hook it to a radiator. You put coolant in it. You have a little gas tank. And you actually hook it to a battery and start it and run it. Yeah, he built two of them. He built that Ferrari V12, and he built that race engine. Had a big blower on top of it. those were the coolest kits. I would like to build one. I really would. I mean, I would get a lot of satisfaction out of building that mining truck, but I would get 5 times the satisfaction of having a little tiny engine that really ran on gasoline. I know there's several kits out there. Because, you know, when you build them, it's like building a real engine. You have to get the camshaft set in right, and you got to get the distributor set in so the timing isn't off. I mean, it's like a little engine with a radiator. You put coolant in, a little gas tank, little starter. You hook it to 12 volts, fire it up. I think that'd be cool. One thing at a time. I will get in my model kit building mode, building the dump truck and maybe the bulldozer. And then I'll work myself up to ordering a real miniature engine. Yeah, it's a real engine. It's just tiny. Well, not super tiny, but there's a couple of guys that have YouTube videos, and as he was in the steps of building it, of course he sped the video up until the point when the engine was complete and he started it. But I mean, you open it up and here's the pistons, here's the rings, here's the rods, here's the rod bearings, here's the little crankshaft, here's the motor block. And you have to put everything together with, you got to oil the pistons before you put them in the block. It's like building a real automotive engine, except it's that big. I think the neat part is they actually run. Although once you get it built, you can only play with it so many times. Well, I'm going to take my engine out on the picnic table. Okay, I'm done. I got to make a note now. Because I'll forget. Look up real miniature here. Look up real running miniature engines. Kits. Engine kits. Man, it's on I made a note. By the time my voice healed up, Ron, it was too late to sing it. We were into New Year's already. I'll put it away for next Festivus. Or I'll figure a way of bringing you on and I'll have a guest, and you can sing it for us. I still haven't looked into that. Well, I couldn't do too much until I had a monitor. Now I have a beautiful monitor. Oh, man. I come in and it's sitting on the console. This big white thing that I have to dust weekly now. Although I'll tell you what, I don't know why more companies don't make white monitors or color. You know, I wouldn't mind like having a green one. Hey, look who's here. TV's here. How you doing there, buddy? I was just talking about the new monitor I bought that I had to buy. Well, I didn't have to buy this one, but yeah, a 40-inch curved gaming monitor that took me a phone call and an hour and a half to program, and 80% of the shit I won't use because it's for gaming. And it's white. Probably why it was 50% off. We can't, nobody's buying these white ones. We'll put them on sale. Some idiot will buy them. Yep, here I am. Although back in the day, when we had the old CRTs, they were white. Apple computers were white. The monitors were white. Although just about every single monitor back in the day was white. And then when they went to flat screens, they went to black cases. I don't understand that. Although those white CRT screens were a bitch to keep clean. I'll say that much. They showed the dirt right away. Well, there's a guy on eBay TV that sells the two side by. It's for 3 monitors, and you have 2 side by side and one above it. I was looking at monitor stands yesterday. I'm pretty sure they hold like. You can put 2 24 side by side and then a 24 above it. Although the neat thing with this monitor, I can split screen it. I can do like my show on one side and be watching YouTube videos on the other half. You can split screen it. Matter of fact, you can triple screen it. I can divide it into thirds. I told the guy, he says, nope, nope, too far advanced. Skip over that shit. But this monitor's got some unbelievable features that I'll never use. Well, Ron, you got to remember if you're putting 3 monitors on a stand, you're going to have something pretty substantial to mount that stand to if you want 30 or 30-inch, 35-inch monitors. I don't know if they make a monitor mounting arm that holds like 40 inches. But I did see the one where it's 2 side-by-sides and then one above. And I don't know if you can do 230 side-by-side. I know definitely 24s. And it's like $35 for the triple. Because I'm going to set. I got a double over in Studio One. I got 2 monitors side by side over there, 2 24s. I want to do something over here because I've got that 30-inch Vizio. No, it's not a Vizio. Whatever that 30-inch curved monitor, I want to put that over here. Hey, look who joined the group. Woodles is here. What the hell is the name of that monitor? Viatech. Where the hell did I get Vizio from? Well, started with a V. Yeah, I really would like to put it above this one. Put that 30-inch curve above this one, but they don't make the damn things high enough. I guess they're afraid they'd be top heavy. So I have to kind of redesign the studio over here so I could have 2 curved monitors. Because I got my 19 over here. That's hooked to my small form factor. But I have the other desktop that I haven't used. I'd like to hook that to that way I could multitask. Well, I wouldn't hook them to a KVM because them KVM switches go out too fast. I've had more problem with KVM switches. I would just end up with 2 keyboards, 2 mooses, 2 of everything. Because originally, when I got the new computer, I bought a brand new KVM switch. That way I could work 2 computers off of 1 monitor and switch back and forth. And I had the thing about 3 months and it went haywire. And I was like, God damn, I've never had a KVM switch that worked for more than a year. So I've given up on KVM switches. I'll just have 2 monitors, 2 keyboards, 2 mooses, or 3 monitors, 3 keyboards, 3 mooses. Because I've got enough mini keyboards. And they light up. Matter of fact, I got one right here. little mini keyboard that changes color. It's a full QWERTY keyboard. It's just mini. God, I got a shitload of these. I got 3, 4 of these things. Yeah, I got to redesign here. I got to figure out how to put that. I really want to put that 30-incher above this one, but they don't make the rods long enough. I know I could cob something together, get a pipe flange and a bunch of God, I know a guy that, Christ, he's got a 55-inch flat screen he uses for a monitor. I'm like, God, I'd go blind. Have something that big and mount it on the wall in front of me. Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel. One day he had a camera like in the corner of his studio. And in front of him on the wall, he's got a 55-inch flat screen TV he uses for a monitor. I was like, holy Christ, I'd go bonkers with something like that. What I think I'm going to do with that Biotech monitor, I'm going to buy one of those freestanding TV stands. Like I had in here, that's the one I had in here for New Year's. And that way I could put it over here on this side of the console. So I'd have my 30-inch, then my 40 here, and then over here I got my 19, but that's the one I use for if I'm doing like gargle searches. More computers and more monitors, and China's got rice. And I have several computers that still work. And nobody takes computers anymore. Nobody wants them. And I can't see throwing stuff away that works. But they're like Windows 7 computers. And a lot of time you can't upgrade because the specs on the computer aren't enough. What I wanted to do is pack them all up and trade them in, but the computer shop don't even want them. I just can't see sticking a computer in the garbage. But nobody will take them anymore. And I mean no one. Goodwill, Purple Heart Veterans, I went down the list one day, and they all said, no computers, no monitors, no. I don't have the patience to build my own. Although what I should do is pay my buddy's grandson. He builds gaming computers. I should pay him to build me something with big specs and a huge graphics card. But Christ, by the time you order all that shit, they're too expensive. And I don't have the patience to do it myself. I built one, and that was it. I said, never again. Ordered the motherboard, ordered the processor. Had it in a fancy plexiglass case. Had all kinds of lights in it. Cooling fans had lights in them. Lights in the motherboard. Yeah, it looked neat. It was a pain in the ass to build. Although what I need, because I've got the expansion slots, I need a 3.5 card reader. I need a floppy drive reader. I've got an external, but I'd like to have one in the computer. As it's got all my motorcycle pictures on it. Mainly because I have a camera that uses floppy disks as film. Kids around here get a kick out of it. I'll pull out that Mavica, pop in a floppy disk. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's a floppy disk. A what? Matter of fact, I have 2 Mavicas. And I'll tell you what, I swear by them things. They take better pictures than my damn newer cameras. I've got 3 the DSLR cameras, and them 2 stupid Sony Mavica floppy disk cameras take better pictures. I have a case of floppy disks, 144 of them. Because I don't erase. I should, one of these days, I should pop them in and erase, reuse them, but I don't use that camera that much anymore. My one DSLR has video. I can do video on it. I have a big enough memory card. I'm going to have to do some videos this summer. Maybe I'll do a throwback show. Set up my lawn chair and my GoPro in the backyard like I started off. I'll have to do a show like that. It'd be taped. It wouldn't be live. I would set it for, my normal 7 p.m. I'll have to do that one day. Get the old GoPro fired up, go sit in the middle of the backyard, talk to the camera like I used to. retro days. I'm going to do that. One day this summer. My neighbor next door will go, guy's losing his mind. He's sitting in the backyard talking to himself. I've got, you ought to see I got some neat GoPro accessories. I have a unit. You put the GoPro on it and you push a button and it does a 360 turn. It's really neat. I only used it once. Yeah, I was sitting there, and the next thing you know, the camera's turning around. And then it come back to me. I bought that thing and used it once. That's because I'm into gimmicks. A Kodak. Man, we're going back. Kodak hasn't made cameras in years. Boy, I'll tell you what, when they went digital, Kodak got caught with their pants down. They were sitting there going, digital never replace film. Boy, they learned a hard lesson. Because by the time they got into selling memory cards, SanDisk had them beat. Although I got a couple of Kodak SD cards. But they, their CEO was like, that'll be a passing phase. Nothing will outdo film. God, I don't even think there's places that develop it anymore. I know the 1 hour Photoshops used to, but not anymore. Nobody even has 1 hour photo. You tell them film, and they're like, what? Yeah, it's in this canister. You have to develop it. What? The craziest looking SD card I ever saw. I gave mine away. I gave I had, 4 SLRs and about 25 different lenses. God, I had a lens that was like 30 inches long. It was about like... I found a guy that was into the old SLR cameras. I said, take it all. Yeah, film's a pain in the ass. It really is. I don't like Walmart anyway. Yeah, I gave them all away. I had 2 Yashicas. I had a Pentax and one that I had a Besseler Topcon SLR. I had 2 Yashicas, a Pentax, and a Besseler Topcon. I gave it all away. That I'll tell you what, that guy was, when he saw that lens, like I say, it was, you had to have a monopod because the lens was so heavy, was about 30 inches, and it was about like so. I gave him the cases and everything. I said, just take it all. It was a lot of money in them cases. A lot of money. God, I forget. I paid like $2,000 for that lens. Of course, I was shooting freelance stuff, so I got paid. I got paid to buy all that shit, But when I stopped doing, because I freelanced for 4 different companies, and I just that's a. Because I bought that lens to try to sneak photos off the Ford Michigan Proving Ground. And even back in the day, they had fucking security everywhere. I figured, get me some spy photos. Nope. Started to hike into the woods, and next thing I heard, hey, this is private property. What are you doing? I'm going back to take a leak. With that camera? I don't think so. Get out here. You got 5 minutes to pack your camera gear and get in your car and go. All right. Wasted trip to Michigan. Drove up there figuring I could get, because supposedly that day they were testing the new prototype Mustangs. I almost got arrested. Yeah, I told him, I'm going back to take a leak. And the guy said, I'll hold your camera. He goes, I know what you're doing. Get out of here. Ford security. Because there were a lot of photojournalists that snuck up in them woods, climbed up in trees, and got pictures of prototype cars on the proving ground. That same thing, GM. Couldn't get near either one of those. Yeah, I gave him the nickname of Lynx Fur because his father had, the hell was that, alligator skin lynx fur lined golf bag or something. So when he said Lynx Fur, I gave him the nickname of Lynx Fur. But that's a rhombozoid in disguise. So anytime you see Lynx Fur, that's Ron in his disguise name. The name that I gave him. Yeah, kangaroo fur. Or kangaroo skin and lynx fur lining. It was the weirdest golf bag I ever heard. But when he said links for lining, I was like, that's his new nickname. Even when I email him, I put, hey, links for. He just switches back and forth between devices. If he's using one device, he's rhombozoid, and if he uses the other one, he's links for. I'm waiting for him to buy a third device, and then he would be Ronbo Fur. Yeah, Ronbo Fur. So he would be links fur on one, rhombozoid on the other, and Rombo Fur on the other. I kind of like that nickname, Ronbo Fur. Ronbo Fur. I like that, Ronbo Fur. God, I knew a guy on YouTube, he must have had a dozen. Although a lot, you know, if you paid attention to Kaiser's chat, he would mention these new people. And it was just somebody that added another name to the account. Oh, look, we have a new subscriber, you know, box truck. And then the next day, oh, look, we have a new subscriber, truck of gold. And it was the same person. He just added a name. Me, I have one. That's it. I have a hard enough time with one, let alone having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. Yeah, you know, TV, all the shit that gets bootlegged on YouTube, and, you know, they shut you down for that when you got 100,000 people streaming bootleg shit, copying other people's media, putting it up as their own. And they don't shut them people down. Me, I got shut down, or I got one of my videos taken down because I had copyrighted music. Any of the music that YouTube has is bullshit. I'm surprised I get away with my, although mine's from 1943. And I don't think it was ever copyrighted. And my 20th Century Fox entry music it's everywhere. The studio literally put it out there for people to use. So YouTube can't do a damn thing about it. And my closing music was, it was a war song. And a lot of that war songs were never copyrighted by anybody. So YouTube can't do a damn thing with me on that. And I've been using it for so long, sooner or later they'd catch on because there's always somebody ratting somebody out. People can't have a YouTube channel without somebody ratting them out for something. Oh well, yeah. That's one you yeah. I mean, look what he does to the Democrats. You know, you're a Democrat. Brr. I like when he, one of the news agencies will ask him a question, and if he don't like that news agency, well, you got hate in your heart, and you guys just put trash out for news, and God, he threw one guy out. They were in the Oval Office, and he asked a question that pissed Trump off, and he threw him out. He said, "Get out, get out, get out of here." So yeah, when you're streaming anything about him, yeah, you're walking on thin ice. Matter of fact, it was one of the news conferences when he was showing off all the gold in the Oval Office. And I think it was a guy from CNN says to him, "Don't you think this is a little over the top there with all this gold? Well, you got hate in your heart. You guys just put trash on the network anyway. Your ratings are going down. As a matter of fact, get out of here. Get out. Get out." He threw him out of the Oval Office. So that's a touchy. Matter of fact, I refer to him as Mr. Big Hair. I rarely mention the name. I slip here, but I'm always Mr. Big Hair. YouTube hasn't figured it out yet. Oh my God, the Oval Office looks like a French bordello. Jesus Christ. And the new ballroom's going to be worse. The goddamn ballroom will be dripping with gold. Yeah, right. TV, 100% right. We got people, are homeless and living under bridges and cardboard boxes, begging on the street for, enough money to buy a bag of potato chips or something. And then, oh, look at all the gold. Look at the gold. Have you ever seen the inside of his private jet? Holy, I'm surprised that sucker gets off the ground. It's got so much gold in it. Talk about somebody with a precious metal hang-up. Jesus Christ. And he thinks that impresses people. You look at the Oval Office, and I would rather he answer questions in the basement of a French bordello. Well, they got to build something. They already tore the East Wing down. And he did it without government approval. He just said, "Hey, tear this down." That was a historical building. You just bulldoze it, tear it down. And they had interviewed one of the, I'll call them air stewards, that was in charge of prepping the plane and everything. He fired more people because, oh, look, there's a little smudge over here. You're fired. You didn't polish this gold faucet enough. You're fired. I never saw anybody in my life with a precious metal hang-up like he's got. Christ, he's probably ordered a solid gold casket. Goddamn people starving, homeless, shelters are overcrowded, food kitchens don't have enough food. And we're sitting there going, oh, look, we've got 1 square foot over here. We could put some gold over here. I just can't understand how people can walk in that room and, well, if you don't kiss his ass, you're fired. It is so fucking gaudy, it's sickening. I'm waiting for the gold chairs. Actually, I'm waiting for a throne. That'll be next. A gold throne. Probably has a gold throne in his bathroom. Well, it's a little cold. Oh, got to get some fur lining on this thing. I hope the next guy that gets voted in tears all that shit down. Oh, it's going to be like the world's largest ballroom. Like, they only use it like 7, 8 times a year. It's literally going to be the world's largest ballroom. Bigger than what they've got over in Saudi Arabia. And those over there, they go big, big, big. God, look it up sometime. They have in one of the shopping malls the world's largest aquarium over in Saudi Arabia. I saw pictures of it. It is unbelievable. It's over in somewhere the United Arab UAE, United Emirates. It's in a shopping mall, and it's the world's largest aquarium. It is unbelievable. It's like an ocean inside of a shopping mall. And they've got some pretty big entertainment areas over there, but this ballroom is going to be like the world's largest, and it's probably going to have $260 million worth of gold in it. Where is the aquarium that has 1 or 2 whale sharks? I want to say Georgia for some reason that pops into my mind. Their aquarium is so big they have whale sharks, which is the biggest mammal on Earth. I would love to see that aquarium. I want to say Georgia. I saw a program on it, and they actually have, I think it's 2 whale sharks course, they're not full grown, but they're growing. You can't have a goldfish bowl for a whale shark. You got to have several billion gallons. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia. I'm not 100% because I know they pipe their water in right from the ocean. They have this big pipeline that draws water from the ocean to circulate through that whole complex. Whatever, it's big. And these aren't full grown yet. How they caught them for one is amazing, and how they got them into that aquarium without them dying. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia. Now I gotta make a note. Gargle aquarium with whale sharks. All I know is I could not believe it. And I think they have two. Because they have, which are the neatest things on earth. They've got like 6 beluga whales. And these suckers talk. Not, but they get. I remember seeing that too. Wherever this aquarium is, they've got like 6 beluga whales. And when they go to feed them, the suckers jibber jabber, and it was the neatest thing. It is Georgia. Yeah, there was a thing on. It was like this continuing series, like the zoo in New York, and they showed these beluga whales, and when the girls were feeding them, they were like Flipper, they were chattering for their fish. And beluga whales are cool because they're white. That aquarium is fantastic. As okay, Ron, as frugal as I am, if it cost me $100 for a ticket to get into the Georgia Aquarium, I'd pay it in a heartbeat. Because I have this thing for aquariums. But to find out that aquarium's got whale shark, I mean, it's. But I know they pipe they have an underground setup where I don't know how far it goes out into the ocean, but they pipe in constantly fresh ocean water. And then the filtration system, God, it's a building like the size of a warehouse. Because I remember they were showing when they were constructing I can't remember what area, but like it goes down like 60 feet, 70 feet. Like I say, if it was $100 a ticket, as cheap as I am, I'd be like, here we go. Let me in. I want to see the whale shark. And I want the beluga whales to talk to me. That was the cool thing when they showed the feeding time. And they chatter. They have voices. It was something. I can't remember. The one in New York was called the Zoo. I don't know what the program, but like every week they showed a different part of that aquarium. And then they also showed a lot behind the scenes. And I was like, holy shit. But this aquarium over in Saudi Arabia is bigger than Georgia. And it's in a mall. Nothing like stepping out of Saks Fifth Avenue and see a shark swim by you. Like, holy yutchafuck. I'm big on aquariums. I've never been to the Cleveland one, though. It's easy to find. There's a big giant propeller out in front of it. I drove down there one day and parked next to the giant propeller. And the noise that thing makes is scary. As each blade comes around, whoop, whoop, whoop. Of course, look at the size of the blade, you know. $55. To me, it would be worth every penny. It would be worth every penny, as cheap as I am, just to see that aquarium. But, you know, what does it cost to go to, like, well, I was going to say SeaWorld. We don't have that no more. Go to, like, Disneyland or Universal Stupidos, you know. It ain't cheap to get in there. So I would rather pay my money knowing it's going to a good cause because it's supporting conservation of endangered species. Not to mention stand there and watch a whale shark go by. Jesus Christ, look at the size of that thing. And it's not even full grown. I hope they planned on enough tank for when that sucker gets full grown. Them goddamn things are what, like 40 feet long? Amazing. Talk about modern technology, how you could build an aquarium to support a whale shark. Because they have a special way of feeding them, too, because they only eat krill. Because they showed that, too. The girls go back and forth on a boat, and they disperse the krill in front of the whale shark. They go back and forth and back and forth. I remember seeing that. They literally get in a little rowboat and they tow this thing across the tank and they disperse the krill in front of the whale shark, whose mouth is, about 6 foot wide. There's some krill. And they have to do that several times a day. Be my luck, I'd get hired there. Grumpy, it's you got to go out in the rowboat. And do what? You got to throw krill in the water. I got to do what? Yeah, you got to throw krill in the water. For what? For the whale shark. For what? Yeah, you can't miss it. The mouth will come up. It's like 6 foot wide. Don't fall out of the boat. I quit. Don't you have a job where I can sweep a litter somewhere? Can I feed the beluga whales? No, I got to feed the whale shark. Oh, I ain't going out in a boat in a fish tank. No. I draw the line there. Because if I fall in, I don't want to be dinner. I'll have to research and see if they have that on YouTube. It was on one of the free streaming channels because I don't pay for cable. But it was a weekly series. And they showed different parts of that aquarium. And I remember showing them feeding the whale shark. And they literally towed this boat back and forth. Yeah, take one bite and go, oh, this is nasty. You trying to make me sick? All the shit I went through to get in this tank and you're going to feed me that? That tastes dead. Yeah, a couple of bites. Pwee! Let me in the boat! Let me in the boat! It's just amazing, like I say, technology and how they determine how they're going to feed that's one of many fish. Tow a boat at a certain speed. They got it hooked to a motorized thing. It tows it across, and the girls literally disperse the krill. Then when they get to the one end, here's more krill. Go back the other way. Get over here. Here's your buckets. Tows you back the other way. It's amazing a fish that big eats something the size of a little shrimp. I still want to go see it. After I go to Tennessee to pick up the Bronco. Then I'll drive to Georgia to the aquarium. Well, I think it's about that time. I got a couple of footballs calling my name. The last of the footballs. Now they're all smaller. I'll have to make several. Or go back to eating normal food. No, I like my baked potatoes too much. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night, the home of not one but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And we will see you again tomorrow night. And just remember, we'll have 2 see-yas due to the OBS update. So see you number 1. And see you number 2.